An adjunct professor at Kirkwood Community College who said people had complained to the college about comments he made on social media is out of a job.
More to the story. Antifa professor canned, sues school, wants Christians killed, threatens president, calls police, wants safe space. Wife leaves. Cops and Klan go hand in hand. Kill Christians. To hell with free speech. Down with the imperialist USA. Police, help me. I feel unsafe due to threats. Oh, my free speech. I'm suing. No, wife, don't leave me. It's not my fault. Fuck you. Special thanks to Tabitha. See Tabby's new channel. See that link below. Thanks to you, Kalina. You rock, girl. Greg's still working on that thing. Thanks for the donation, and to others who've donated. And I don't know if you want me to say your name, so I won't. Now, if we can get another 50 bucks and one more subscriber, a 5th subscriber at Subscribestar, then we can cash out the minimum $150 when it gets there.
And pay our electric.
And pay our electric bill, or maybe, we have nothing to cook with except 1/2 of a toaster and a hot plate. We need a new windshield, we need blah, 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 blah. But I won't go into all that because there's too much to list. This would go on forever. Hey, good news, Tabby. Remember our video about the Antifa professor who says that you should kill Christians and, stuff like that? Yeah, he actually was canned.
Good. I would expect so. He was advocating for open murder.
Yeah, now I think that all speech should be protected, even that. I know it sounds crazy to most people, but I think there are better ways than censoring speech. If someone calls for violence and then someone else commits violence, well, then you go after, the crimes that were actually committed if they are committed. And if they aren't, then, let people say what they want to say. Besides, the best way to counter bad speech is with good speech. If someone calls for murder, the best thing you could do about it is to tell everyone about that. Anyway. KCRG, that's ABC 9 somewhere, I guess in the Kirkwood area maybe, put out Kirkwood professor with ties to Antifa resigns. Let's watch this little news report on it.
Jeff Klinsman posted statements on social media that some say were offensive and threatening against President Trump and Christians. TV9's chief investigative reporter Josh Scheinblum has the latest.
In a letter sent out Friday, Kirkwood Community College's president, Lori Sundberg, said that this is a matter that they'd been assessing for days. Sundberg went on to explain Kirkwood ultimately made the decision to have another professor take over the course Klinsman was scheduled to teach. Klinsman says he was put on administrative leave. He then in turn chose to resign. Sundberg says the attention that's been brought to what's transpired has, in her words, quote, the potential to create an environment that is disruptive to our mission, end quote. She went on to say, despite the move, Kirkwood fully supports Klinsman's right to express his views in whatever form he chooses. I-9 found Klinsman had recently written in a Facebook group called Iowa Antifa in response to a tweet posted there which featured President Donald Trump, quote, yeah, I know who I'd clock with a bat, end quote. We also found on his personal Facebook page a post from 2012 where he expressed his desire to exact revenge on evangelical Christians. Klinsman declined our request to take part in an interview to discuss this latest development. He did tell me, however, in an email that he never carried weapons at any anti-fascist action that he took part in. In the newsroom, Josh Scheinblum, KCRG TV9 News.
This, by the way, is from August 23rd. All right, so there's some good news there. Cedar Rapids, Iowa, KCRG. Okay, we're going to skip over some stuff for brevity and to avoid redundancy. Antifa, short for anti-fascist, is a militant leftist movement focused on physically fighting far-right and white supremacist groups. Sadly, it's really common to see news outlets maintain that Antifa are anti-fascists or that they fight white supremacists and so on. And yes, sometimes they actually do, but usually they don't. Now, this is from the middle of Iowa. We can't really expect everyone to know everything about Antifa, especially if you're just a local reporter. It's just not your thing. So when you're making reports on this and you make them really fast and you look into it really fast, you don't really have time to do deep dives because you're given assignments and you have to move on to the next thing really fast. But I did call this investigative reporter to try to, talk with him about this, maybe get him to, to give him, well, you'll see. Here's my phone call to this guy.
Hi, you've reached Josh Scheinblum, Chief Investigative Reporter at KCRG TV 9 News. I'm unavailable at the moment, but if you could please leave your name and number and a brief message, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you, and have a great day.
Please leave a message at the tone. When finished, you may hang up or press pound for additional options.
Yes, hi, Mr. Scheinblum. I watched your report on ABC 9 about Jeff Klinsman, the adjunct professor who apparently resigned from school after his comments online about Trump and Christians and stuff like that. I'm an investigative reporter myself, independent, and I wanted to ask you, a question about, I believe this would be your report, it has your name on it, where it says that Antifa, short for anti-fascist, is a militant leftist movement focused on physically fighting far-right and white supremacist groups. And I basically wanted to ask you, I wanted to ask you why it is that you characterize them as such, when if you really look into it, they claim to be that. Every once in a while, they actually do go up against far-right or white supremacists, but I've been documenting for quite a long time and in extensive detail with video proof that more often than not, they're actually going up against moderate people, often not even right-wing people. It's just they call the people fascists or white supremacists, and then they go and attack them. And then if you don't really look into it, it's easy to think that that's what they do. But I encourage you to look into it, and I even have sources to prove this. I mean, I don't expect you to believe me. If I can get if I could send you via email or whatever, a bunch of links to documentations. And the reason why I'm saying is just, maybe in the future you could be a little bit more accurate. Now, I would imagine, it's not expected of you being from where you are. But anyway, if you could call me back at this number, my name is Justin. And, I'd like to discuss, maybe we could share some information, whatever, about these groups or what you might know, any further developments, because I am doing a follow-up report on this whole thing. A little bit deeper of a dive than most people do. Anyway, don't want to talk you off forever. Thank you very much. Call me back if you can. I appreciate it. All right, folks, that was the phone call. If you're hearing me talk right now, that means that I never actually got him on the phone, or at least not before putting this video out. Hopefully I will in the future. We'll see, but let's move on. In a letter sent out Friday, Kirkwood Community College President Laurie Sundberg said the college has been assessing this matter for days. Sundberg went on to explain Kirkwood ultimately made the decision to have another professor take over the course Klinsman was scheduled to teach. Klinsman said he was put on administrative leave, but then, in turn, chose to resign. Sundberg says the attention that has been brought to what has transpired has, quote, the potential to create an environment that is disruptive to our mission, unquote. She went on to say that despite the move, Kirkwood, quote, fully supports, unquote, Klinsman's rights to express his views in, quote, whatever form he chooses, unquote. I-9 found Klinsman, by the way, they have every right to put him on administrative leave. They're not the government, so this is not a case of the government violating your constitutional rights. You could say that in principle they're against free speech just by their actions, but they do have the legal right to do that. I-9 found Klinsman had written in a Facebook group called Iowa Antifa in response to a tweet posted there, which featured President Donald Trump, quote, yeah, I know who I'd like to clock with a bat, unquote. Okay, so then the rest of this article, they're talking about the stuff we already mentioned about, President Trump with a bat, killing evangelical Christians. They conclude with Sundberg also said safety was a top concern of colleges when making their decision. She says their security will have a visible presence on campus moving forward and that they are working with the Cedar Rapids Police Department to implement a safety plan. Friday, August 23, 2019, the Gazette put out, Kirkwood professor quits after claiming Antifa affiliation. He resigns after Kirkwood finds someone else to teach his class. And there's the picture of the scumbag right there. I'm going to skip over the first few paragraphs of this article because it's nothing new, but right here we have a different quote from Sundberg. Sundberg is the president of the Kirkwood College. Quote, some may use this decision to support broader arguments about free speech on college campuses, unquote, she wrote. Quote, that's why I want to be very clear with you, the reasoning behind this decision, unquote. We're going to skip the next paragraph because that's redundant by now. Quote, Our decision to remove Mr. Klinsman from the classroom has nothing to do with the substance of his views or his right to express them, unquote, Sundberg wrote. Quote, rather, our decision is based solely on our commitment to fostering a safe learning environment for our students, faculty, and staff, unquote. Additionally, Kirkwood announced its security team will be visible across campuses when class begins Monday, and that Cedar Rapids Police will be there too. John Buse, Vice President of Student Services, and Jennifer Bradley, Executive Dean of the English, Arts, and Humanities Department, will visit classrooms Monday to brief students on the issue and on the steps being taken to ensure safety. Whatever. God damn it. Such pussies. Yeah, you notice how, oh, we got some bad press. Let's run around like chickens with our heads cut off and have extra police and teach the kids in the classroom that, it's a safer environment and don't worry about the... How about this? How about you stop indoctrinating kids with fucking regressive left bullshit? How about that instead? Okay? Then you wouldn't have bullshit like this. You wouldn't have to worry about stuff like this. You idiots. And now, here's a new development. Former professor who resigned after Antifa controversy says he plans to sue the school. From August 28th. And this is from something called Law and Crime. Don't know about this source. Oh, and by the way, just so you know, I'm never going to claim that any source that I read from is honest or accurate. It's just, that's what they say. A lot of these things lie, we know it, but, there you go. They report a newly resigned professor in Iowa says he plans on suing his former school for how officials handle blowback to his controversial online statements. You resigned, buddy. Does he have a legitimate claim under the law? A legal nonprofit says his employer's actions violated his First Amendment rights. I doubt it. The controversy stems over incendiary hostile online comments from Jeff Klinsman, a professor at Kirkwood Community College in Cedar Rapids. A report from CRG shows that he had written, okay, we already know what he wrote. We're going to skip the next few paragraphs because they are redundant for us at this point. In a follow-up interview, the Gazette, let's have a look at that Gazette article. LinkedIn TV report to Antifa. Ousted professor says Kirkwood violated his rights. Jeff Klinsman says he's not part of any Antifa organization, but stands against fascism. Nice double talk. Yeah, you're bullying this whole, well, they're not an organization, so I'm not Antifa, even though I said I'm Antifa. Fuck you. Cedar Rapids. When Jeff Klinsman's phone rang Friday, he saw the familiar Kirkwood Community College number. He knew what was coming. He'd been dreading it. Skipping ahead, the story quickly spread nationally through social media and other outlets, landing on a variety of right-wing websites and eventually on Fox News. Ooh, I did not know that. Because I don't watch TV. Alright, so I went looking for that Fox News report on YouTube, couldn't find it. I can only find stuff that would be redundant for us, but nothing by Fox. But I found this article right here. Iowa professor says, I am Antifa, once posted desire to bash Trump with a baseball bat. From Fox, this is August 23rd. Most of this is redundant, however, I noticed down here where it says, the Secret Service didn't confirm to the outlet whether an investigation had been opened, but said the agency is aware of the professor's comments. Uh-oh.
You're in trouble, like you've never been in trouble before. When they find out there is no doubt, you're in trouble, like you've never been in trouble before.
Back to that other article by the Gazette. Quote, I won't say I was surprised, unquote. Klinsman, 62, told the Gazette about the call. Quote, they talked about how this had broken on Fox and they were getting thousands of complaints. They were getting threats. People were threatening to burn down the college. They said, we can't have you coming back this semester, unquote, unquote. We're going to skip the next paragraph because it's redundant for us at this point. Quote, as of Thursday of last week, he was going to be teaching Monday and we were all aware of the content, unquote, Sundberg said. Quote, there is no evidence that he has espoused those views in his class, but then once the news story ran, we had this outcry from the public and what we perceived as threats. At the end of the day for me, if I'm found legally wrong on this, I can't live with that. But if I make the wrong decision regarding the safety of the students and he's harmed, our students are harmed, or other faculty are harmed, I can't live with that, unquote. Okay, so there you go, folks. It's not because of what he said, according to her official statement here, or unofficial statement, whatever. She's saying it wasn't that, it was because the threats against him. Okay? So it's not because of him making threats. It's because of people making threats against him. You see this? This is such bullshit.
Yep.
Skipping ahead some. Incidents like this increasingly raise the question of what constitutes speech-related harm that's not protected by the Constitution. Quote, "These are tough decisions that people have to make today. It's a complicated issue," unquote, Sundberg said. Quote, "We were trying most definitely to respect his right to free speech. At the same time, I have to respect that I have students' lives on my campus that I'm responsible for," unquote. Apparently that would be why, if it is true, they have all this increased security and police, and they're talking to kids in the classroom. Not, hey, by the way, you shouldn't listen to the people who tell you, to wage violence because they're pro-Antifa. No, it's, we're going to keep you safe from the bad fascists out there who are threatening anti-fascists in our school. Fuck you. Klinsman said he believes his case amounts to a First Amendment violation, and he plans to sue Kirkwood, which he said not only replaced him in the classroom, but asked him to resign as adjunct professor in the English department where he's worked since 2010. Okay, so they asked you to, and you did it. What's the problem? They're also not the government, are they? So, what's the problem? You schmuck. How do you become a professor when you're that ignorant? Anyway, quote, "They made it clear, you can resign or we'll terminate you," unquote, he said. Okay, well then they didn't ask you. They told you. Anyway, Klinsman said he agreed to quit. I don't know if this is how much of this is accurate anyway, so who knows. Klinsman said he agreed to quit when Kirkwood committed to pay him for the fall section he planned to teach.
Excuse me, the fuck did you just say?
Well, JonTron, what I said was Klinsman said he agreed to quit. Again, he agreed to quit when Kirkwood, you ready for this, Tabby? You ready, JonTron? Committed to pay him for the fall section he planned to teach.
So he took the money and ran, and now he's trying to complain and act like he didn't take the money.
Okay, as we'll see in the next episode where we dive even deeper into this guy, he's not just a socialist, or he's not just even a communist, he's particularly a militant communist, what they call a tanky. In other words, people who are all like, yes, let's go to war, and all that kind of stuff. Okay, this is a militant communist who said, well, will you pay me for the work that I won't be doing? Okay. And then now he turns around and sues them. So fuck the government, fuck money, give me my money, help me government. Fuck the police, help me police. You see what kind of a moron this guy is? I'm an English professor, but I can't write, and you'll see more of his poor English in the next episode. This is so crazy. Wait till you see what people have to say about him on ratemyprofessor.com. Oh, this is amazing. Oh, this is just so funny. Okay, let's move on now. Sundberg confirmed the college is paying Klinsman for the semester work he no longer will be doing, $3,624 over the 16-week period. Oh, okay, so the cost of selling out your own professed beliefs and all that is $3,624. Now we know the price tag.
Yeah, we know Judas's price as well.
What was it, a bag of silver?
Yeah,
Something
I think
like
it was
that.
12 pieces of silver.
All right, so there you go, Judas. Oh, Mr. Klinsman, you are such a clown. Thank you for the entertainment.
Exactly. It's like, this is too good.
This is
too
just,
good. You're all
just
idiots,
too good.
and I love it. You're fucking idiots. We're gonna take over the world. You can barely count.
And this is kind of funny. You'll see in the next episode, folks, that Mr. Klinsman will take, okay, if you hang up a sign that says it's okay to be white, you're a white supremacist or a Nazi, right? Okay, so in other words, the burden of proof is extremely small for this idiot, right? But then he'll turn around and say mean things about Chief Investigative Reporter Josh Scheinblum, right? Clearly a Jewish name. So if even saying it's okay to be white is racism to you, then gainsaying a Jewish man means you're a flat-out Nazi. Okay? These are your standards that you're setting up, so fuck you if you don't like it. But she rejected the assertion that he was asked to quit and produced the email he sent to Kirkwood's Human Resources at 2:05 p.m. Friday. Quote, due to the controversy surrounding reporting about my activism, And in the interest of preserving the safety of Kirkwood campus, its students, faculty, and staff, I resign my position as a member of the English faculty effective immediately, unquote, according to the one-sentence email. And he's an English professor, by the way. He put that all in one sentence. Not good for him. Anyway. I mean, you know, these people, they tend to not know their ass from their elbow, left from right, fascism from libertarianism, collectivism from individualism. They don't know a goddamn fucking thing. Anyway, Klinsman's vociferous rhetoric and outlandish online modus operandi is nothing new. He has been voicing strong opinions for years in letters to the editor, in comments to online news articles, and in spats on social media. Those brought to light recently include one from 2012 where he disparaged Christians, suggesting violence. No, he said kill them. He's talking about killing them. It's not just violence. It's the ultimate violence, killing. Skipping over the next couple paragraphs. But Klinsman said a Kirkwood official contacted him years ago following a report of an inflammatory sexual reference he made during an argument on Facebook. Sexual reference, huh? Kirkwood took no action following that incident, he said. When KCRG reached out to Kirkwood earlier this month about the story it was preparing, however, administrators contacted Klinsman with concerns. He said, Kirkwood Human Resources Vice President Wes Fowler wanted to know what to expect from the story, according to Klinsman. That conversation and others left Klinsman suspicious of Kirkwood's motives in removing him from the classroom. Quote, let's just say that Wes Fowler made statements that led me to believe that the statement of the student's safety is a cover story, unquote. Klinsman said Fowler expressed his concerns with how Christian students might feel in his class. That, according to Klinsman, revealed the college's concern with the content of his commentary. Fowler also referenced calls from lawmakers after Thursday's TV coverage raising flags for Klinsman about political motives. So who knows? I mean, that would indicate, I mean, if that's true, then that is what that would indicate. Anyway, Sundberg confirmed at least 2 state lawmakers reached out seeking information. Representative Ashley Hinson, Republican Marion, Representative Steve Holt, Republican Dennison. Those concerns came amid a barrage of emails and calls from the public, including veiled and explicit threats of violence that could test Kirkwood's ability to provide a space conducive to learning. If you're being indoctrinated, you're not actually learning. You're being conditioned, you fuck. Said John Busey, I guess, Vice President for Student Services. Quote, we had some messages that I can recall were disturbing, concerning, and alarming, unquote. Busey said, quote, things that we feel like we need to follow up on and take seriously, unquote. It, quote unquote, really escalated. Even with Klinsman off campus for the start of classes Monday, Kirkwood worked with Cedar Rapids Police to have additional officers present. Busey and a colleague visited the class Klinsman was to teach to explain the situation, and the administration plans to extend its extra security measures and precautions to the foreseeable future. Look out! Oh! Klinsman, who was doing chores at a stable where he volunteers when the story aired, said he returned home to find his wife had left out of fear. He, too, was calling authorities to request extra presence in his neighborhood. Oh, you're gonna go to the government, huh? Whatever happens to cops and clans go hand in hand, you little
that's
fuck.
only when they want idiots to get themselves killed for them, baby.
Yeah.
They don't actually believe. That's the same person who says, it's the same thing as the person who says, fuck all cops.
Yeah.
And then the minute their fucking bike gets stolen, they're calling a cop.
Right. But
You
then,
know?
but they'll encourage their students to go put their bodies on the front line.
Yes, they will, because they're cowards.
Yep.
They're cowards, and only a coward uses a pawn to do their task.
Yep.
He's a coward.
Yep.
And he knows that children are the dumbest in the herd and the easiest to be made to kill.
Well, let's hope his wife left for good. Left him.
Yeah.
So as I was saying, he called the authorities to request extra presence in his neighborhood. All for comments he said were taken out of context. He said he'd know. How does it feel? You're saying Christians should be killed, and now you're like, help me, big brother.
No.
He said he's not affiliated with any organized version of Antifa. See, that's doublespeak, like I said at the beginning, because the typical line is, Antifa's not really an organization. Yeah, you're a group, okay? Whatever word you want to use, fuck you. You're a group. And you did say you are Antifa, according to all these reports. Continuing, but rather stands against fascism, a right-wing authoritarian political philosophy. By the way, that is not true. The Gazette, you should learn this. They claim to be anti-fascist, but you can claim to be whatever you want to claim you are, but what you do, if it shows otherwise, means that you're otherwise. Quote, the situation really escalated and changed dramatically and very rapidly, unquote, he said. So there you go, folks. Okay, again, see the link below to our subscribe store and subscribe to us there and give us a donation. And if you can't give us a donation, we could really use some tech help. We need someone to help us figure out how to make videos where you could show yourself in one little corner and then show something else on the screen, whether you're gaming or whatever. We have a webcam. It's just that when we go to live stream and do videos, YouTube's like, nah.
It hates me.
It's just, you know, we don't know. It's complicated, but neither one of us are tech savvy, but we do have a webcam that should work, and we want to do live streams. Tabby's allowed to do live streams on her channel. We just don't know how to get it to work because it's being difficult. Also, it'd be great if we could do video interviews with people via webcam. You know how you see both of us, one on one side of the screen, one on the other side of the screen. It'd be really great. We could interview a lot of people, Proud Boys, perhaps Joey Gibson, Russell Schultz, who knows? A lot of different people I have contact with. So if you think you can help walk us through it, please let us know in the comments section below or something like that. That would be amazing. We could really use the help because we don't know what we're doing, and we can improve this channel a lot. Maybe even get into debates with people. That would be great. Remember when it used to work for us? Yeah, well, that stuff doesn't work anymore, and I don't know why. So if you could help us out, please do so, all right? Please subscribe to us on BitChute and click that little bell icon. It's like YouTube, but without the censorship. And unlike YouTube, BitChute's not going to unsubscribe you or just simply not tell you about videos that you want to be told about, even though you subscribed and clicked the bell icon. They've been unsubscribing people from our channel lately. The view count, it's going up kind of slowly, but the subscriber count, it just dropped way down suddenly. And that's not a coincidence. That is something they're doing. So fuck YouTube, see the link to BitChute, subscribe to us there. See our webpage where we compile news articles and other sources about different areas of the culture war, all categorized, and then go to the Antifa section if you want to see links to the articles that we'll look at in this video. But just know that webpage exists, it has a lot of stuff there, not just Antifa stuff. See the links below for everything.
Thanks for watching.